She wasn't good enough for him, or so he said when he shattered her heart 3 years ago, telling her she'd never fit into his world of power and prestige. Nia Carter walked away broken, but she rebuilt herself piece by piece until she became the woman he never believed she could be. Then fate threw them back together in the most humiliating way possible. She walked into his world on a billionaire's arm, and suddenly Ethan Hale was the one who didn't measure up. What he didn't expect was the jealousy that would consume him, the tabloids that would destroy her reputation, or the choice he'd have to make between his carefully crafted image and the only woman who'd ever truly seen him. Some second chances require more than apologies. They demand complete surrender. If you've ever been told you weren't enough, subscribe and comment below, because this story proves that sometimes the best revenge is becoming everything they said you couldn't be. The morning sun slipped through the blinds of Nia Carter's apartment, painting stripes of gold across her kitchen table. She sat with her laptop open, staring at an email that had arrived 5 minutes ago. Her coffee grew cold in its mug. "Girl, what's wrong with your face?" Maya Brooks appeared in the doorway, her braids wrapped in a silk scarf, her pajama pants covered in cartoon cats. Nia looked up. "We got the Pierce contract." Maya's eyes went wide. "The Pierce contract? Like Logan Pierce, the billionaire guy?" "That's the one." Nia tapped her screen. "My firm's handling his charity gala. The whole thing. Venue, catering, media, everything." "That's amazing!" Maya rushed over, nearly tripping on her own feet. "Why do you look like someone just told you Christmas is cancelled?" Nia scrolled down the email. Her finger stopped on a list of sponsors. "Because Ethan's company is one of the main sponsors." The name hung in the air between them. Maya pulled out a chair and sat down hard. "Ethan Hale, your ex? The one who said I'd never fit into his world." Nia's voice came out flat. "Yeah, that Ethan." 3 years had passed since she'd heard his voice. 3 years since he'd stood in her old apartment and told her she wasn't what he needed, that she'd hold him back, that their lives were moving in different directions, and his direction was up while hers was somewhere else. "You don't have to take the job," Maya said softly. "Yes, I do." Nia closed her laptop. "This is the biggest contract my firm has ever landed. I worked hard to get here. I'm not running away because my ex might show up to a party." Maya reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "That's my girl. Besides, he's probably married by now." "Fat and boring." Nia laughed despite herself. "He was never boring." "True. Just mean. Not mean. Just sure of himself." Nia stood up and carried her cold coffee to the sink. He knew what he wanted, and it wasn't me. She dumped the coffee and watched it spiral down the drain. She'd spent too many nights crying over Ethan Hale, too many days wondering what was wrong with her, why she hadn't been good enough, why her love hadn't mattered as much as his career, his image, his future. But that was old Nia, the one who'd believed that being chosen by someone like Ethan meant something about her worth. Nia knew better. "I need to get ready," she said. "Meeting with the Pierce people this afternoon. You're gonna crush it." Maya stood up and wrapped her in a hug. "And if you see Ethan, you just remember, you're the one planning the party. He's just a guest." Logan Pierce's office sat on the 43rd floor of a glass building downtown. Nia had expected cold modern furniture and intimidating art. Instead, she found warm wood, comfortable chairs, and photos of children at what looked like schools in other countries. "Ms. Carter," a woman in her 50s appeared, smiling. "Mr. Pierce is ready for you. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Water?" "I'm fine, thank you." The woman led her down a hallway lined with more photos. Kids playing soccer, women working in gardens, men building houses. Each picture showed Logan Pierce right there with them, his sleeves rolled up, his smile genuine. "Come in, please." His voice came from a corner office with windows overlooking the city. Logan Pierce stood as she entered. He was tall, maybe 6'2", with dark hair starting to gray at the temples. He wore jeans and a button-down shirt with the sleeves rolled up. No tie, no fancy watch, just a regular guy who happened to own half of Chicago. "Ms. Carter, thank you for coming." He shook her hand firmly, but not too hard. "I've heard great things about your work." "Thank you. I'm excited about the gala." Nia pulled out her tablet. "I have some initial ideas I'd like to run past you." For the next hour, they talked about themes and venues, about what message he wanted to send, about who would attend and what they'd remember. Logan listened more than he spoke. When he did talk, he asked good questions. Real questions, not the kind meant to sound smart. "I like this," he said finally. pointing to her mock-up of the main ballroom. It feels warm, personal. That's what I want. These people write big checks, but I want them to feel something first. That's exactly what we'll do, Nia smiled. Make them feel it. Logan leaned back in his chair. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you choose this work? Event planning for people like me? Nia paused. It was a personal question, but his eyes were kind. I like bringing people together, making moments that matter. And honestly, people like you have the resources to make real change. If I can help you do that even a little, it feels good. He nodded slowly. That's a good answer, the real kind. It's the only kind I've got. Logan laughed. I think we're going to work well together. He stood and walked to the window. This gala is important to me. It funds education programs in 7 countries, changes actual lives. I need someone who gets that. I get it, Nia said. I promise. Good. He turned back to her. Then let's make it unforgettable. As Nia packed up her tablet, she noticed a magazine on Logan's desk. The cover showed a young man in an expensive suit, standing in front of a tech company logo. The headline read, Chicago's Rising Tech Stars. Her stomach dropped. Ethan's face stared up at her from the glossy page. Older now, more serious, but still him. You okay? Logan asked. Yeah. Nia forced a smile. Just remembered something I need to do. She left the office with her heart beating too fast. 3 years of moving on, and one picture could still knock the air from her lungs. You need wine, Maya announced that evening, appearing in Nia's doorway with 2 glasses and a bottle of red. I need to finish this proposal. The proposal can wait. Your mental health can't. Maya poured without asking. Talk to me. Nia took the glass. I saw his picture today, at Logan Pierce's office. Some magazine article about successful young tech guys. And nothing. It just reminded me. Nia sipped the wine. It was good. Too good for a Tuesday. When he broke up with me, he said I'd never understand his world, that I didn't have the background, the education, the connections. He said it so calmly, Maya, like he was explaining why water flows downhill. Because he's a jackass. Because he believed it. Nia set down her glass. That's what hurt. He really thought I wasn't good enough. Not mean, not cruel, just... Sure. Maya was quiet for a moment. You think you'll see him? At the gala? His company's sponsoring, he'll probably be there. Then you need to prepare. Maya pointed at her with the wine bottle. Not for him, for you. You need to walk in there knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Nia closed her laptop. Can I tell you something I've never said out loud? Always. Sometimes I still wonder if he was right. The words came out small and broken. Maya didn't jump in with reassurance. She just waited. I wasn't sophisticated enough, Nia continued. I didn't know which fork to use at fancy dinners. I hadn't been to Europe. My family wasn't connected. And when he introduced me to his colleagues, I could see it in their eyes. The question, what's he doing with her? Stop. Maya's voice was gentle but firm. That's his voice in your head, not yours. Maybe. Not maybe. Definitely. Maya reached over and made Nia look at her. You know what I think? I think Ethan Hale broke up with you because he was scared. Scared of what? That you'd see through him. That you'd realize he's just a regular guy in an expensive suit, and without the suit, he's nothing special. Maya squeezed her hand. Real people are scary to guys like that. You were real. That terrified him. Nia wanted to believe that. Wanted to think Ethan had been the coward, not her. But she remembered his eyes that last day. So certain. So calm. You'll never fit into my world, Nia. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. She'd stood there in her apartment, in her clearance rack dress and second-hand furniture, and she'd known he was right. His world was marble and champagne. Hers was IKEA and boxed wine. I'm not that girl anymore, Nia said now, looking at Maya. I've worked hard, built a career. I have clients who respect me. I don't need Ethan Hale to validate my worth. Now that's my girl. They clinked glasses. The wine tasted like forward motion. The night of the gala arrived cold and clear. Nia spent the afternoon at the venue, checking every detail twice. The ice sculptures gleamed. The flowers looked like they'd been painted by someone who loved beauty. The lighting turned the ballroom into something from a dream. This is perfect, Logan said, appearing beside her in his tuxedo. You've outdone yourself. Thank you. Nia smoothed her dress. She'd chosen emerald green, simple but elegant. Her hair was swept up, her makeup subtle, professional. My driver got stuck across town, Logan said, checking his watch. Your team already went in, right? Yeah, they're managing the caterers. Then let me walk you in. Can't have my event planner standing outside her own masterpiece. Nia hesitated. Logan was kind, but this was still a work relationship. She didn't want anyone getting the wrong idea. Then again, she was tired of making herself small to avoid wrong ideas. That would be lovely, she said. Logan offered his arm. Nia took it. They walked toward the entrance where photographers lined up like birds on a wire. The flashes started immediately. Who's the designer of your gown? Mr. Pierce, is this your new girlfriend? Can we get a smile? Logan kept walking unbothered. Nia kept her chin up, her smile natural. This was business, nothing more. They stepped into the ballroom, and the noise of the party swallowed them. Music played softly. People in expensive clothes held expensive drinks and had expensive conversations. The whole room smelled like money and perfume. And there, by the bar, stood Ethan Hale. He looked up. Their eyes met. Nia watched his face change. Surprise first, then confusion. Then something else she couldn't name. She kept walking with Logan, her arm still linked with his. Let Ethan think what he wanted. Let him wonder. Let him feel, for once, what it was like to be left behind. Ethan Hale, Logan said pleasantly, stopping near the bar. Good to see you. Your team's presentation on the tech integration was excellent. Ethan pulled his eyes away from Nia. Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Glad we could contribute. Have you met Nia Carter? She's the genius behind tonight's event. We've met. Ethan's voice sounded strange, tight. Years ago, Nia said smoothly. Nice to see you again, Ethan. His jaw worked. You too. Logan looked between them, sensing something but too polite to ask. Well, I should make my rounds. Nia, save me a dance later? Of course. Logan disappeared into the crowd. Nia started to follow, but Ethan's voice stopped her. Wait. She turned, faced him. Up close she could see the changes, lines around his eyes that hadn't been there before, a seriousness that made him look older than 31. You look, he paused. You look incredible. Thank you. She didn't return the compliment, didn't ask how he'd been, just waited. I didn't know you'd be here. It's my event. I planned it. Right, of course. He rubbed the back of his neck, a gesture she remembered. He did it when he was nervous. So, you and Logan Pierce are working together? Yes. Just working? The question hung between them. Nia felt anger flash hot in her chest. 3 years. 3 years of silence, and now he wanted to know about her personal life. That's none of your business, she said quietly. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. She kept her voice level. Excuse me. I have a job to do. She walked away before he could respond. Her hands were shaking. She'd imagined seeing him again 1,000 times, practiced what she'd say, how she'd act, but none of her rehearsals had prepared her for the reality of his eyes on her, his voice saying her name. Hey. A woman appeared beside her, tall with red hair and a sharp suit. I'm Tessa Grant. I work with Ethan. Nia Carter. I know. Tessa smiled. I've been watching you manage this event. You're good at your job. Thank you. Also, I saw that extremely awkward conversation with my colleague just now. Tessa grabbed 2 champagne glasses from a passing waiter and handed one to Nia. Want to tell me why Ethan Hale looks like someone just kicked his puppy? Nia sipped the champagne. It was excellent. Everything tonight was excellent. Old history. The worst kind. Tessa clinked their glasses together. For what it's worth, I've never seen him look at anyone the way he just looked at you. How's that? Like he lost something important and just remembered it was gone. Dinner started at 8. The seating chart had been planned carefully, but somehow Logan's table ended up near Ethan's. Pure coincidence, or the universe's sense of humor. Nia sat beside Logan, across from a senator and his wife. The conversation was easy, flowing from charity work to travel to Chicago's restaurant scene. Logan was a natural host, drawing everyone in, making people feel special. Ethan sat 3 tables away, but she could feel him watching. The event is wonderful, the senator's wife said to Nia. Did you plan all of this yourself? I had an excellent team, Nia replied. But yes, the overall vision was mine. It shows. Everything feels cohesive, intentional. The woman smiled warmly. Logan's lucky to have found you. We're lucky to have each other, Logan said, raising his glass. Nia's going to revolutionize how we do these fundraisers. More heart, less show. People at nearby tables overheard and nodded in agreement. Someone started clapping. Others joined in. Nia felt her face grow hot. She wasn't used to public praise, to being seen as more than just the person behind the scenes. When she glanced toward Ethan's table, his face was unreadable. But his champagne glass gripped tight in his hand told a different story. Tessa, sitting beside him, leaned over and whispered something. Ethan shook his head. His smile looked painful. The rest of dinner passed in a blur of courses and conversations. Nia answered questions about her work, shared stories about event planning disasters, laughed at Logan's jokes about his first attempts at public speaking. She felt light, present, herself. This was her world now. These people respected her, valued her ideas, saw her as an equal. When dinner ended and people began moving toward the bar and dance floor, Logan excused himself to speak with donors. Nia took a moment alone, standing by the windows that overlooked the city. Chicago spread out below, a million lights in the darkness. Nia. She didn't turn around. She knew that voice. "What do you want, Ethan?" He came to stand beside her, not too close, but close enough. "To apologize. You're 3 years late." "I know." He stared out at the city. "I've been trying to figure out what to say since I saw you walk in tonight. And I'm sorry." The words came out rough. "I was cruel, wrong. I hurt you, and I'm sorry." Nia finally looked at him. "Why now? Because you saw me with someone successful? Because I'm not the girl you left behind anymore? Because I've regretted it every day since." His eyes met hers. "And because seeing you tonight made me realize I've been lying to myself." "About what?" "About why I really ended things." He turned to face her fully. "I told you that you'd never fit into my world, but the truth was simpler. I was terrified." "Of what?" "That you'd see through me. See that without the job and the money and the image, I'm not that special. That I'm just a guy who got lucky and worked hard." He laughed, but it sounded bitter. "You loved me for me." That was terrifying. Nia's chest tightened. Maya had said the same thing, but hearing it from Ethan himself felt different. "So you broke my heart because you were scared." Her voice shook. "That's supposed to make me feel better?" "No, nothing makes it better. I just wanted you to know it wasn't you. It was never you." He took a step back. "You deserved better than me. You still do." He started to walk away. "Ethan." He stopped. "Are you happy?" she asked. He turned back, and for a moment she saw past the expensive suit and practiced smile, saw the real person underneath. "No," he said quietly. "I'm successful, but I'm not happy." Then he disappeared into the crowd, leaving Nia alone by the window with tears she refused to let fall. After the gala ended and the last guests trickled out, Nia helped her team break down the event. By midnight, the ballroom looked normal again. Empty tables, bare walls, the magic packed away in boxes. Logan found her supervising the cleanup. "Go home," he said gently. "Your team can finish this." You should rest. You've earned it," he smiled. "Besides, I need you sharp for our next meeting. I have more events I want to discuss." "More events? You didn't think this was one and done, did you?" Logan's eyes twinkled. "You're talented, Nia. I want you on my team long term." The words warmed her, validated her, made the whole night worth it. "Thank you," she said. "That means everything." She drove home through empty streets, her mind replaying the evening, the look on Ethan's face when he saw her, his apology by the window, the way he'd said he wasn't happy. Part of her wanted to feel satisfied, vindicated. He'd hurt her and now he was suffering too. But mostly she just felt tired. Maya was still awake when Nia got home, watching a cooking show with the volume low. "How'd it go?" she asked. Nia kicked off her heels and collapsed on the couch. He apologized. "Ethan?" "Yeah. What did you say?" "Nothing really, I just stood there." Nia stared at the ceiling. "He said he was scared, that I was real, and that terrified him." "Huh." Maya was quiet for a moment. "Do you believe him?" "I don't know. Maybe." Nia closed her eyes. "He looked sad, Maya. Really sad. That's not your problem to fix." "I know." But as she lay there, exhausted and confused, Nia couldn't shake the image of Ethan's eyes when he said he wasn't happy. Couldn't forget the way her heart had stuttered when he'd apologized. She'd worked so hard to move on, to build a life where she didn't need his validation. So why did seeing him again feel like reopening a wound she thought had healed? Monday morning arrived too soon. Nia sat at her desk, trying to focus on follow-up emails from the gala. Sponsors wanted to book her for other events. Logan had already sent over 3 more project proposals. Her boss had practically danced into her office to congratulate her. Everything was perfect. So why did she feel so unsettled? Her phone buzzed. An email from an address she didn't recognize. Subject: Collaboration Opportunity. "Ms. Carter, we were impressed by your work at the Pierce Foundation Gala. We're launching a new product line and need marketing support for our release events. Would your firm be interested in discussing a partnership? Best regards, Hale Technologies. Nia read the email 3 times. Ethan's company wanted to work with her. This was professional, just business. Companies collaborated all the time, but the timing felt too convenient, too deliberate. She forwarded the email to her boss with a note. Interested? This could be a significant contract. The response came back in minutes. Absolutely. Set up a meeting. Nia stared at her computer screen. She could say no, could claim a conflict of interest, could protect herself from having to see Ethan again, or she could prove, once and for all, that she'd moved past him, that his presence didn't affect her anymore. She opened a new email and began typing. Dear Hale Technologies, we'd be delighted to discuss this opportunity. Let's schedule a preliminary meeting to review your needs and see if we're a good fit. Best, Nia Carter. She hit send before she could change her mind. Maya appeared in her doorway 5 minutes later with coffee and concern. Why do you have your "I made a questionable decision" face? Nia turned her laptop around. Maya read the email exchange and whistled low. You're really going to work with him? I'm going to do my job, Nia said firmly. This is a good opportunity for my firm. I can't let personal history interfere with professional growth. That's very mature of you. Thank you. Also, you're completely insane. Maybe. Nia took the coffee gratefully. But I'm tired of running from the past. If I see him in meetings, I see him. If I have to work with his company, I work with them. I won't let Ethan Hale have power over my career. Maya raised her coffee cup. To being professionally petty. To moving forward, Nia corrected. They clinked cups. But as Nia turned back to her computer, she wondered if she was being brave or just foolish. 3 years ago, Ethan had broken her heart. Now he was back in her life, whether she wanted him there or not. The question was, what would she do about it? The conference room felt too small. Nia arrived 10 minutes early, needing time to settle her nerves. She arranged her presentation materials twice, checked her reflection in the dark window, reminded herself this was just work. Her team arrived next. 2 junior associates who didn't know about her history with Ethan. They chatted about the weekend, about the great coffee in the building's lobby, about everything except the tension radiating from Nia's shoulders. Then he walked in. Ethan looked different in the harsh conference room light, more real somehow. His tie was slightly crooked. He carried too many folders. He looked nervous. Sorry I'm late. He set the folders down with a thud. Traffic was... It's fine. Nia's voice came out professional. Cool. Shall we begin? They went through introductions. Her associates presented their credentials. Ethan's marketing director explained the product launch, some new software that would revolutionize data security. Nia took notes and asked smart questions. It was all very normal, very businesslike, except for the way Ethan kept glancing at her when he thought she wasn't looking. Halfway through the meeting, a video call connected. Logan Pierce's face filled the screen on the wall. Apologies for joining late, Logan said cheerfully. Flight got delayed. How's the presentation going? Very well, Nia replied. We're discussing timeline and budget. Excellent. Ethan, good to see you again. Logan smiled. Nia's team does exceptional work. You're in good hands. Ethan's expression flickered. I'm sure we are. The rest of the meeting passed quickly. They agreed to next steps, signed preliminary documents, scheduled follow-ups. Professional, clean, easy. As everyone packed up, Ethan lingered by the door. Nia, I'll email the contract revisions by Thursday, she said, not looking up from her tablet. That's not what Was there something else about the project? He hesitated. No, nothing about the project. Then I'll see you at our next meeting. She finally met his eyes. Goodbye, Ethan. She walked past him, her associates following. In the elevator, one of them whispered, Is it just me? Or was that super awkward? Old acquaintances, Nia said lightly. Sometimes people have history, but her hands were shaking. Even hours later, sitting at her desk, she could still feel the weight of his eyes on her. Her phone buzzed. Maya, how'd it go? Fine. Professional. You okay? Nia stared at the question. Was she okay? She'd made it through the meeting without falling apart, without crying or yelling or asking why he'd really reached out. That counted as okay, right? Yeah, I'm okay. But late that night, alone in her apartment, she wasn't so sure. The next morning, Nia found flowers on her desk. Expensive flowers, orchids and lilies arranged in a crystal vase. The card read, Thank you for making the gala unforgettable. Looking forward to our next project. LP Logan. Of course. She was smiling at the arrangement when her phone rang. Unknown number. This is Nia. It's Ethan. Her smile vanished. How did you get my personal number? It's on your business card. I'm sorry, I should have. What do you want? Silence. Then, I wanted to clarify some details about the contract. Email my team. Nia, please, can we just talk? Not about work. About... There's nothing to talk about. She kept her voice steady. You made yourself very clear 3 years ago, and I've moved on. Have you? The question was soft. Because I haven't. The honesty in his voice made her chest ache. But she couldn't do this. Couldn't let him back in. That's not my problem, she said. Goodbye, Ethan. She hung up, stared at Logan's flowers, felt her eyes burn with tears she refused to shed. Maya appeared in her doorway. Nice flowers. From Mystery Billionaire? From Logan. They're just a thank you. Uh-huh. Maya came in and closed the door. Why do you look like someone died? Ethan called. My personal number. That's creepy. He said it was on my business card. Still creepy. Maya sat on the edge of the desk. What did he want? To talk. About us, I think. Nia touched one of the orchids. I told him I'd moved on. Good. Maya. Nia looked up. What if I haven't? Moved on, I mean. Her best friend was quiet for a long moment. Then you need to figure out what you want. Not what he wants. Not what makes sense. What you actually want. I don't know what I want. Then figure it out before you end up right back where you started, heartbroken, and wondering why you weren't enough. Maya squeezed her shoulder. You deserve someone who chooses you first. Every time. Without hesitation. After Maya left, Nia sat alone with the flowers and her tangled thoughts. Logan chose her for her work, her talent, her vision. Ethan had once chosen his career over her heart. But people could change, couldn't they? By Friday, the office was buzzing. Someone had seen photos from the gala, Nia on Logan Pierce's arm, both of them smiling at the cameras. Is it true? Her colleague Rachel asked during lunch. Are you dating Logan Pierce? No. Nia stabbed her salad. We're working together. But you arrived together and these flowers are a professional courtesy. Girl. Rachel leaned closer. Logan Pierce doesn't send professional flowers. Those are I'm interested flowers. They're thank you flowers. But doubt crept in. Logan had been kind, attentive. He'd held her arm at the gala, sent expensive flowers, asked her to work on multiple projects. Was she missing something? Or were people seeing romance where none existed? Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I saw the photos. You and Pierce, you look happy. Ethan. He'd texted her personal phone. We're colleagues, she typed back, then deleted it. That's none of your business, she wrote, then deleted that too. Finally, stop contacting me. She hit send, turned off her phone, tried to focus on work, but Rachel's words echoed. Logan Pierce doesn't send professional flowers. Saturday afternoon, Nia met her mother for coffee. Sarah Carter was a teacher, practical and warm, with the same dark eyes as her daughter. You look tired, her mother said, stirring sugar into her latte. Big week at work. The gala went well? I saw the photos online. Nia groaned. Not you too. What? You looked beautiful. That man, Logan Pierce, he seems very successful. Mom, we're not dating. I didn't say you were. I just said he seems successful. Her mother's eyes twinkled. Very handsome too. This is not happening. What's not happening? Her mother reached across the table. Baby, talk to me. Something's bothering you. Nia wanted to pretend everything was fine, but this was her mother, the woman who'd held her through every heartbreak, every disappointment, every moment of doubt. Ethan's back, she said quietly. Her mother's expression hardened. Back how? His company hired my firm. I have to work with him. Can't someone else handle it? I won't let him chase me away from a good opportunity. Nia wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. But seeing him again, it's harder than I thought. Did he apologize? Yes. Do you believe him? That was the question, wasn't it? Nia thought about Ethan's face at the gala, the way he'd said he wasn't happy. His voice on the phone, I haven't moved on. I think he means it, she said finally, but I don't know if that matters. He still hurt me, still chose his image over our relationship. People can change, her mother said gently, but they have to prove it. Words are easy, baby. Actions are what count. What if he does prove it? What if he's different now? Then you'll have a choice to make. Her mother squeezed her hand. But don't make it because you're lonely, or because you remember what you had. Make it because you see what you could have. Big difference. They finished their coffee talking about lighter things. Her mother's students, Maya's latest dating disaster, plans for Thanksgiving. But as Naya drove home, her mother's words stayed with her. Words are easy. Actions are what count. Sunday morning, Nia went for a run along the lakefront. The air was cold, but the sun was bright. She needed to clear her head, make sense of the mess her life had become. She was stretching by the water when someone called her name. "Nia?" She turned. Ethan stood 20 feet away in running clothes, looking as surprised as she felt. "Are you following me?" The words came out sharper than she intended. "What? No, I run here every Sunday." He stayed where he was, not moving closer. "I've been running here for years." Great. Even her favorite running path wasn't safe from her past. "Fine." She grabbed her water bottle. "I was just leaving." "Wait." He took a few steps forward. "Please, can we just talk like normal people?" "We're not normal people. We're exes who have to work together. We're also two adults who used to care about each other." His voice was gentle. "I'm not asking for anything, just 5 minutes, please." Nia wanted to say no, wanted to walk away and protect herself, but something in his eyes made her hesitate. He looked tired, vulnerable, real. 5 minutes, she said. They walked along the path in silence at first. The lake stretched out beside them, dark and endless. "I've thought about what to say to you for 3 years, Ethan began. "Practiced whole speeches, but now that you're here, I don't know where to start. Try the beginning." He nodded slowly. "When we met, I was just starting to make it. The company was growing. I was getting recognized. And you were this bright, genuine person who saw me as just Ethan. Not Ethan, the rising tech star, just me. I remember. It scared me, because the more successful I got, the more I felt like a fraud, like I was playing a part." He picked up a stone and threw it toward the water. "And you kept seeing the real me, kept expecting me to be that person. It felt like too much pressure. So you ended it. So I convinced myself you'd hold me back, that I needed someone who fit the image better." He laughed bitterly. "God, I was stupid." Nia stopped walking. "You really hurt me, Ethan." "I know. You made me feel small, unworthy, like I was the problem." Her voice shook. "Do you understand what that did to me? How long it took to believe I was enough?" "I do now." He turned to face her. "And I'm so sorry. You were always enough, more than enough. I was the one who wasn't." The sincerity in his voice broke something in her chest. She'd imagined this conversation so many times. In her fantasies, she was cold and untouchable. In reality, she was just tired. "Why now?" she asked. "Why reach out to my firm? Why show up at my run?" "I didn't show up at your run. That really was coincidence." He managed a small smile. "But reaching out to your firm, that was deliberate. I wanted a reason to see you again. Needed to know if what I was feeling was real or just nostalgia. And it's real." He took a step closer. "Seeing you at the gala, watching you work, listening to you talk, it reminded me why I fell for you in the first place. You're brilliant, Nia. Strong, real. Everything I pretended I didn't need." Her heart hammered. This was what she'd wanted to hear 3 years ago. But now, "I can't do this," she said. "I can't just forgive you because you're ready to apologize. That's not how this works. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Not yet." His eyes searched hers. "I'm asking for a chance, to show you I've changed, to prove I'm not the same guy who was too scared to choose you. How do I know you won't hurt me again?" "You don't." The honesty surprised her. "But I'm asking you to let me try. No pressure. No expectations, just let me show you." Nia wanted to say no, wanted to protect her heart, but she also wanted to believe people could change, that second chances could lead to something better. "I need time," she said finally. "Take all the time you need, and I need you to prove it. Not with words, with actions." "I will." He smiled, and for the first time in years it looked genuine. "Thank you, Nia, for even considering it." They walked back to the parking lot together. The silence between them felt different now, less sharp, more possibility than pain. As they parted ways, Ethan called out, "Same time next week? I promise it's not a stalking thing. This really is my regular run." Despite everything, Nia laughed. "We'll see." Monday brought a new crisis. Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Emails, texts, calls from numbers she didn't recognize. Finally she answered. "Hello? Ms. Carter, this is Tracy Chen from Chicago Social Scene. We're running a story about you and Logan Pierce. Would you care to comment?" "Comment on what?" "Your relationship. Our sources say you've been spending significant time together. We're colleagues." "So you're denying the romance?" "There's nothing to deny because there's no romance." Nia's voice was sharp. We work together, that's all. But the photos from the gala were taken at a work event. Goodbye. She hung up. 3 more reporters called in the next hour. Maya showed her the gossip sites already running stories. Mystery woman captures billionaire's heart, and who is Logan Pierce's new girlfriend? This is insane, Naya said, scrolling through article after article. Each one featured photos from the gala, analyzed her dress, speculated about her background. Her phone rang again. This time it was Logan. Nia, I'm so sorry. I just saw the articles. It's not your fault. Actually, it kind of is. I should have warned you about the cameras, about how people speculate. He sounded genuinely distressed. I'll have my PR team issue a statement. Saying what? The truth. That we're working together. That you're a talented professional I respect and value. After they hung up, Nia felt slightly better, but the damage was done. By noon, she'd received texts from old friends, distant relatives, even her high school guidance counselor, all congratulating her on landing a billionaire. And from Ethan. I know you said it wasn't true, but if it is, I understand. Just wanted you to know. She didn't respond, couldn't figure out what to say. That evening, she went to dinner with Logan to discuss the next project. They chose a quiet restaurant, nothing fancy, just 2 professionals talking business. But paparazzi found them anyway. Nia didn't notice the cameras. She was too focused on Logan's ideas for a series of educational fundraisers. But the photographers noticed her laughing at his jokes, leaning in to hear better, touching his arm when she made a point. The next morning, the photos were everywhere. Gold digger or real love, one headline screamed. She used Pierce to make ex jealous, another claimed, featuring side-by-side photos of her with Logan and her with Ethan from 3 years ago. Nia called in sick, couldn't face the office. The pitying looks, the whispered conversations. Maya came over with ice cream and fury. This is sexist garbage, she announced, shoving a spoon into Nia's hand. You're successful and beautiful. God forbid you have dinner with a man without people assuming you're using him. 3 clients cancelled meetings, Nia said numbly. Said they wanted to avoid the drama. They're idiots. You'll get better clients. What if this ruins everything? What if... Her phone rang. Ethan. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. I saw the articles, he said, without preamble. The tabloids are tearing you apart. I'm aware. I can fix this. How? I'll issue a statement. Clarify that you're a respected professional, that anyone suggesting otherwise is out of line. Why would you do that? Her voice was hollow. We're barely speaking. Because it's the right thing to do. Because you don't deserve this. He paused. And because I'm trying to show you I've changed. But he didn't issue the statement. Not publicly. Nia found out 2 days later from Tessa, Ethan's co-worker. They ran into each other at a coffee shop. Can I sit? Tessa asked. Nia shrugged. Free country. Tessa sat down, fixing her with a serious look. Ethan's been a mess since the gala. That's not my problem. I know, but I thought you should know something. Tessa leaned forward. Last week, in a meeting with investors, someone made a joke about you being a gold digger. Ethan shut it down immediately. Defended you. Said you were one of the most talented professionals he'd ever worked with. He told me he was going to issue a statement. He never did, because his board told him it would hurt the company's image. Associate Hale Tech with tabloid drama. Tessa's eyes were kind. He's been fighting with them all week, trying to get them to let him say something publicly. Nia's chest tightened. Why are you telling me this? Because I've worked with Ethan for 2 years, and I've never seen him fight for anything the way he's fighting to protect your reputation. Tessa stood up. I don't know what happened between you two, but whatever it was, he's trying to make it right. After Tessa left, Nia sat with her coffee and her confused heart. Words are easy. Actions are what count. Ethan hadn't made a public statement, hadn't dramatically rescued her from the tabloids, but he'd defended her in private, fought with his board, tried to do the right thing even when it cost him. Maybe that mattered more. Friday evening, Nia went to Maya's apartment for their standing wine night. But instead of her best friend, she found Maya with a plan. We're going out, Maya announced. I look like garbage. You look sad. There's a difference. Maya pulled her toward the bedroom. Put on something nice. We're going to that new jazz club downtown. I don't care what you want. You need music and people and life. You've been hiding for days. 30 minutes later, Nia found herself in a smoky club with live music and good drinks. The band played something slow and bluesy. People swayed on the small dance floor. It felt good, normal. Like maybe life would continue despite the tabloids and the heartache and the confusion. "See?" Maya said, sipping her martini. "This is better than moping." "I wasn't moping. You were absolutely moping." They laughed, ordered another round, let the music wash over them. Then Nia felt someone watching her. She turned. Ethan stood at the bar looking as surprised as she felt. "You've got to be kidding me," Maya muttered. But Ethan didn't come over, didn't interrupt. He just raised his glass slightly, an acknowledgement, and turned back to his own group. "That was weird," Maya said. "Yeah. Are you okay?" "I think so." And strangely, she was. Seeing Ethan didn't hurt the way it used to, didn't make her want to run or cry or scream. It just reminded her that life was complicated, that people were messy, that sometimes the past and present got tangled up in ways you couldn't predict. Later that night, as Maya drove them home, Nia's phone buzzed. "I didn't follow you to the club. My co-workers picked it, but it was good to see you smile." She stared at the text. Then, without overthinking it, she typed back, "It was good to smile. Small steps." Maybe that's all she could offer right now, but it was something. The following week passed in a strange rhythm. Nia threw herself into work. Logan's projects kept her busy. Her reputation slowly recovered as the tabloid stories faded. Life moved forward. But Ethan kept appearing, not in obvious ways, not dramatically, just there. He sent her work emails that were professional but kind, asked genuine questions about her ideas, included her team in meetings where they could have been left out. One morning, she arrived at the office to find a box on her desk. Inside was a collection of marketing journals, not random ones, but specific issues she'd mentioned wanting to read months ago in a client meeting. The note said simply, "Thought these might help with the Pierce campaign." "That's actually thoughtful," Maya admitted when Nia showed her. "I know. That's what's confusing me." Another day, Nia was stuck in a meeting that ran late. She'd mentioned to Ethan's assistant that she had another appointment across town immediately after. When the meeting finally ended, she rushed to the elevator and found a car waiting downstairs. "Mr. Hale arranged it," the driver said, "to make sure you made your next meeting on time." Small gestures, quiet actions, nothing flashy or public, just consistent kindness. "He's wearing you down," Maya observed over dinner. "Slowly but surely." "Is that bad?" "I don't know." Maya twirled pasta on her fork. "Is he doing this because he genuinely changed, or because he wants something?" That was the question that kept Nia up at night. She wanted to believe Ethan was different, but believing meant risking her heart again. 3 weeks after the gala, Tessa invited Nia to lunch. They'd been exchanging occasional texts since their coffee shop encounter. Tessa was funny and direct, the kind of person who said what she meant. They met at a sandwich place near Tessa's office. "I have a confession," Tessa said, diving into her turkey club. "This isn't just a friendly lunch." "Oh? Ethan's been different lately, quieter, more thoughtful." Tessa wiped mustard from her fingers. "He defended you again yesterday in a board meeting." Nia's stomach flipped. "What happened?" "One of the investors brought up the Pierce contract, suggested maybe we should pull out because of the tabloid situation. Said it made us look bad." Tessa's eyes flashed. Ethan told him that judging a professional by gossip instead of her work was exactly the kind of thinking that held companies back. Then he threatened to walk if they cancelled the contract. "He what?" "Threatened to quit." Tessa grinned. "It was actually pretty badass." The room went silent. The investor backed down immediately. Nia couldn't speak. Ethan had risked his position for her. "Why are you telling me this?" she finally asked. "Because he won't. He thinks grand gestures make him look like he's performing." Tessa leaned forward. "But you deserve to know, whatever happened between you two, he's trying to fix it. Not with words, with actions." After lunch, Nia walked aimlessly through the city. Her mind spun with questions. Ethan was proving himself, consistently, quietly, exactly the way her mother had said mattered most. So why was she still scared? That evening she met Logan for coffee. He'd become a friend over the past weeks. Someone she could talk to without judgment. "You look troubled," he said, stirring sugar into his espresso. "Just thinking." "About Ethan Hale?" Nia's head snapped up. "How did you—" "I'm observant, and I saw how he looked at you at the gala." Logan smiled gently. "Also, Tessa Grant is a terrible gossip. She mentioned you two have history." "We do. Complicated history. Most worthwhile things are complicated." Logan sat back. "Can I offer some unsolicited advice?" "Please." I've known men like Ethan, successful, proud, terrified of being vulnerable. They build walls and call it ambition. He paused. But every once in a while, someone comes along who makes them want to tear those walls down. That's rare and scary. You think he's changed? I think he's trying to. Whether he succeeds depends on whether he can sustain it. Change is hard. It takes daily choice, not one big moment. Logan's eyes were kind. The question is, are you willing to watch him try, or is the risk too great? Nia didn't have an answer. That night she lay in bed staring at her ceiling. Her phone sat on the nightstand, silent. Part of her wanted Ethan to call, to push harder, to make the choice easy, but he didn't. He respected her space, let her breathe, gave her time. Maybe that was its own kind of gesture. The breaking point came on a rainy Thursday. Nia was at her desk when her phone exploded with notifications. Another article, another tabloid story, but this one was worse. The headline read, "Marketing exec uses billionaire and ex to climb social ladder. Inside Nia Carter's calculated rise." The article was vicious. It claimed she'd deliberately reconnected with Ethan to get his company's business, that she was using Logan for connections, that every professional success she'd earned was actually manipulation. It quoted anonymous sources from her firm, said her colleagues questioned her ethics, suggested her entire career was built on using men. Nia read it twice, her hands shaking. Then she watched as clients started pulling out. Meetings cancelled. Emails went unanswered. By noon, her boss called her into his office. "Nia, we need to talk." She sat down, numb. "These articles, they're hurting the firm's reputation." He looked uncomfortable. "I know they're not true, but perception matters in our business." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying maybe you should take some time off. Let things calm down." "You're suspending me?" "I'm giving you space to handle your personal situation without it affecting our other clients." His voice was gentle but firm. "It's temporary, just until the gossip dies down." Nia left the building in a daze. The rain soaked through her coat. She walked without direction, without purpose, just walked. Her phone rang. Ethan. She answered without thinking. "What?" "Nia, I just saw the article. Are you okay?" "No, I'm not okay. I just got suspended from my job because of tabloid garbage." "What? They can't." They did." She stopped walking. Rain streamed down her face, mixing with tears. "This is what happens, Ethan. This is what being associated with you costs me. My reputation, my career, everything I built. Let me fix it. I'll issue a statement right now. You'll what? Risk your company's image. Your board will never allow it." The words came out bitter. "You care more about being admired than being honest. That's who you are. That's not fair." "Isn't it?" Nia laughed, but it sounded broken. 3 years ago you chose your image over me, and now you're doing the same thing, helping me privately but never publicly, because you're still scared of what people will think. "Nia, I can't do this anymore." She was crying now, really crying. "I thought maybe you'd changed, but you haven't. You're still the same guy who's more worried about his reputation than doing what's right." "That's not true." "Then prove it. Stand up, publicly. Choose me over your image." Her voice broke. "But we both know you won't." She hung up, turned off her phone, stood in the rain and let herself fall apart. Nia went to Maya's apartment, showed up soaked and sobbing. Her best friend didn't ask questions, just pulled her inside, wrapped her in blankets, and held her while she cried. "I'm so stupid," Nia said when she could finally speak. "I let him back in. I thought he was different." "You're not stupid. You're hopeful. There's a difference." Maya stroked her hair. "But maybe hope isn't enough this time. He'll never choose me." "Not really. His image matters too much." "Then that's his loss, not yours." But it felt like her loss. Her job, her reputation, her heart. All of it gone because she dared to believe in second chances. The next morning, Nia woke up to 73 missed calls. Most from numbers she didn't recognize. A few from Logan, one from her mother, and 15 from Ethan. She ignored them all. Spent the day in Maya's apartment, watching mindless TV and eating ice cream, trying to figure out how to rebuild her life again. Around 3, Maya's doorbell rang. "If that's Ethan, I'm not home," Nia said. Maya checked the peephole. "It's not Ethan." She opened the door. Logan Pierce stood in the hallway looking concerned. "I'm sorry to intrude," he said, "but you weren't answering your phone and I was worried." "I'm fine," Nia lied. "No, you're not. Can I come in?" Maya stepped aside. Logan entered, bringing an air of calm authority with him. I read the articles, he said, sitting across from Naya. They're lies, all of it. Doesn't matter. People believe them. Then we make them believe the truth. Logan leaned forward. I'm holding a press conference tomorrow. I'm going to set the record straight about our professional relationship, about your integrity and talent. Logan, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Because what they're doing to you is wrong, and I won't stand by while a talented professional gets torn apart by gossip. His voice was firm. You've done nothing but excellent work. That deserves to be recognized. After Logan left, Nia felt slightly better. At least someone was willing to fight for her publicly, but she couldn't help noticing who wasn't. That evening her phone rang again. Ethan. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. What? Her voice was flat. I need to see you, please. Why? Because I have something to say and I need to say it in person. He sounded different, urgent. Please, Nia, give me 10 minutes. She almost said no, almost protected herself one more time. But curiosity won. Fine, 10 minutes. Maya's place. She gave him the address and hung up. Maya raised her eyebrows. You sure about this? No, but I need closure, one way or another. 20 minutes later, Ethan stood at the door. He looked terrible, like he hadn't slept. His hair was messy. His tie was gone. He looked more real than she'd ever seen him. Thank you for seeing me, he said. Maya pointed at him. You've got 10 minutes, then I'm kicking you out myself. They sat in Maya's living room, awkward, tense. Nia waited. You were right, Ethan said finally. Yesterday on the phone, everything you said was right. Okay, I've been helping you privately, but staying quiet publicly, because I was scared. Scared of what my board would think, what investors would say, how it would affect my image. He ran his hands through his hair. I've been a coward. So what changed? I spent last night thinking about what matters, really matters. He looked at her directly. And I realized that losing my company would hurt, but losing you, really losing you, would destroy me. Nia's chest tightened. What are you saying? I'm saying I cancelled my keynote speech at tomorrow's tech summit, the biggest event of my year. I cancelled it to come here. He pulled out his phone and showed her an email. And I told my board that if they don't let me issue a public statement defending you, I'm resigning. She stared at the email, read it twice. You'd give up your company? For you? Yes. His voice was steady. Because you're more important than any company, any image, any reputation. You're real, Nia. You make me want to be real too. Words are easy, Ethan. I know. That's why I'm not just saying it. He stood up. Tomorrow I'm holding a press conference before Logan's. I'm going to tell everyone the truth about the tabloid stories, about our relationship, about why you're one of the most talented people I've ever worked with. He looked at her with raw honesty. And I don't care what it costs me, you're worth it. Nia couldn't speak. This was what she'd wanted, what she'd asked for, public support, choosing her over his image. I'm not asking for another chance, Ethan continued. I know I don't deserve one. I just need you to know that you were right about me. I was a coward, but I'm trying to be brave now, even if it's too late. He turned to leave. Ethan. He stopped. Thank you. The words came out soft. For finally choosing me. He nodded, smiled sadly. I should have chosen you 3 years ago, every day since, but at least I can do it now. After he left, Nia sat in silence. Maya came and sat beside her. That was intense, Maya said. Yeah. Do you believe him? I think so. Nia wiped her eyes. He's risking everything. His career, his reputation, everything he valued more than me. So what are you going to do? Nia thought about her mother's advice, about Logan's wisdom, about 3 years of heartbreak and growth. I'm going to wait and see, she said finally. Words are easy. Tomorrow I'll see if his actions match. The next morning, Nia woke to another explosion of notifications, but this time they were different. Ethan had held his press conference at 7 a.m., before the news cycle started, before anyone could stop him. She pulled up the video with shaking hands. Ethan stood at a podium, cameras flashing, looking nervous but determined. I'm here to address the rumors about Nia Carter, he began. The tabloids have painted her as an opportunist, a manipulator, someone using professional relationships for personal gain. Every word of that is false. He took a breath. Nia Carter is one of the most talented marketing professionals in Chicago. Her work speaks for itself. The Pierce Foundation Gala was a masterpiece. Her ideas for our tech launch are brilliant. She earned every opportunity she's received through skill, dedication and integrity. Nia's eyes welled up. The truth is, Nia and I dated years ago. I ended that relationship because I was young and stupid and thought my career mattered more than love. I was wrong. She moved on, built an incredible career, became the person she was always meant to be. His voice grew stronger. When I saw her again at the gala, I realized what I'd lost. I've been trying to reconnect with her, not professionally but personally, because I'm still in love with her. I never stopped. Gasps from the reporters. Cameras flashed faster. But Nia has been nothing but professional. She kept boundaries, maintained ethics, did her job brilliantly while I tried to win back her trust. He looked directly into the camera. The only person using professional relationships inappropriately was me. And I'm sorry. To her. To everyone watching. I let my pride and fear control me for too long. He paused. I'm here because love isn't about levels. It's not about who fits whose image. It's about courage. The courage to be real, to be vulnerable, to choose someone every single day, even when it's hard. His voice cracked slightly. Nia taught me that, and I'm finally learning. He took questions, answered honestly, admitted his mistakes, defended Nia's character again and again. It was everything she'd asked for, and more. Maya came into the room, her eyes wide. Did you see? I'm watching it. Girl, that man just destroyed his entire image for you. I know. Nia's phone rang. Logan. Did you see the press conference? He asked. I'm watching it now. He loves you. Really loves you. Logan's voice was warm. That's rare, Nia. Real love. The kind that costs something. After they hung up, Nia sat with her phone in her hands. The video ended. Comments started flooding in. Most were supportive, praising Ethan's honesty, defending Nia, calling out the tabloids. Her professional phone buzzed. Her boss. Nia, we need you back. Immediately. Can you come in this afternoon? What changed? Everything. Pierce Industries just doubled their contract, and 3 new major clients called asking specifically for you. He sounded almost embarrassed. We made a mistake. We're sorry. She hung up and looked at Maya. What are you going to do? Maya asked. Nia thought about Ethan's face on that video. The vulnerability, the honesty, the public sacrifice. I'm going to go see him, she said. Right now. Maya grinned. Finally. Ethan's office building was crawling with reporters. Nia slipped in through the side entrance, took the elevator to his floor. Her heart hammered the entire way up. His assistant looked surprised to see her. Miss Carter, I know where he is. She walked to his office, knocked once, entered without waiting. Ethan stood by the window looking out at the city. He turned when she entered, his eyes widening. Nia, hi. They stared at each other. So much to say. No idea where to start. I saw the press conference, she finally said. I meant every word. I know. She took a step closer. You chose me. Publicly. Completely. I should have done it years ago. Yeah, you should have. Another step. But you did it now. When it mattered most. When it cost the most. He didn't move. Just watched her. Waiting. My mom told me that words are easy, Nia continued. That actions are what count. And you finally showed me. With actions. With sacrifice. With courage. Does that mean? It means I see you trying. Really trying. And that matters. She stopped right in front of him. But I need you to understand something. I'm not the girl you left behind. I've grown. Changed. Built a life I'm proud of. I know. If we do this, if we try again, it has to be as equals. True equals. No more hiding. No more protecting your image at my expense. No more choosing pride over love. I promise. His voice was rough with emotion. You are my equal. You always were. I was just too blind to see it. And if your board doesn't like it, if investors pull out, if people judge you, then they judge me. I don't care anymore. He reached for her hand, tentative. I spent 3 years being admired by people who don't actually know me. I don't want that anymore. I want to be known, really known, by you. Nia felt tears slip down her cheeks. This was what she'd needed. Not perfection, not grand gestures, just honesty, consistency, real change. I can't promise it'll be easy, she whispered. I'm still hurt, still scared. I know, and I'll spend every day earning your trust back, however long it takes. What if it takes forever? Then I'll spend forever proving I'm worth it. She smiled, despite her tears. That was cheesy, I know, but I meant it. He smiled back, hopeful and tentative and real. Okay, she said softly. Okay, let's try. Slowly, carefully, but let's try. The hope in his eyes nearly broke her heart. Really, Really? She squeezed his hand. But Ethan, if you hurt me again, I won't. I promise, I swear. He pulled her close and she let him, let herself lean into his warmth. I love you, Nia. I never stopped, and I'll prove it every single day. She pulled back to look at him. I'm not there yet. The love part. I need time. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. They stood there holding hands, taking the first fragile steps towards something new, something better, something built on truth instead of image, on courage instead of fear. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't fixed, but it was real, and real was enough to start. The days after Ethan's press conference were strange, good strange, but still strange. Nia's phone wouldn't stop buzzing with support. Old colleagues reached out to apologize. New clients wanted to work with her. Her boss gave her a raise and a public apology in the company meeting. You're a rock star, he said. We should have stood by you from the start. But the best part, the tabloids moved on to other targets. Her life became hers again. Ethan kept his distance, gave her space, didn't push, but he showed up in small ways. Coffee appeared on her desk every morning, always exactly how she liked it. 2 creams, 1 sugar. The cup had a small note. Have a great day. When her car wouldn't start one rainy morning, a mechanic showed up at her apartment. Already paid for, he said. Mr. Hale called it in. Flowers arrived at her office every Friday. Not expensive orchids like Logan sent for business, just simple daisies, her favorites, the ones she'd mentioned once 3 years ago that Ethan had somehow remembered. He's wearing you down with kindness, Maya observed, smelling the latest bouquet. Maybe. Nia touched the soft petals. But it feels different this time, not flashy, just consistent. Consistency is good. Consistency means he's serious. 2 weeks after the press conference, Nia agreed to have coffee with Ethan. Just coffee, nothing more. They met at the same cafe where they'd reconnected weeks earlier. Neutral ground, public, safe. Ethan was already there when she arrived. He stood when he saw her, nervous. Thank you for coming. You said you wanted to talk. I do. But mostly I just wanted to see you. He smiled softly. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. They ordered coffee and sat by the window. The conversation started awkward, surface level. How's work? Weather's been nice. Did you see that new restaurant opening? But slowly, carefully, they found their rhythm again. I've been seeing a therapist, Ethan said suddenly. Nia looked up, surprised. Really? Yeah. After everything, I realized I had some stuff to work through. About image and worth and why I thought success mattered more than happiness. He stirred his coffee. She's helping me understand why I pushed you away. What did you learn? That I was terrified of being ordinary. My whole life I worked to stand out. Be special, matter. His voice was quiet. And when I was with you, you loved me when I was just me. No achievements, no status, just Ethan. That was more terrifying than any business deal. Nia felt her chest tighten. Why? Because what if the real me wasn't enough? What if you saw through everything and realized I'm just a regular guy who got lucky? He finally looked at her. It was easier to break up than risk you figuring that out. The honesty hurt, but it also healed something. You were enough, Nia said softly. You always were. I just wanted you to see that. I'm starting to. Finally. He reached across the table, stopping just short of her hand. Can I ask you something? Sure. What do you need from me? To rebuild trust? Nia thought carefully. Consistency, time, proof that this isn't just words or temporary change. She paused. And honesty, always, even when it's hard. I can do that. He pulled back his hand. Whatever you need, however long it takes. They finished their coffee, talking about easier things. Work projects, Maya's latest dating disaster, a movie they both wanted to see. It felt natural, comfortable, like slipping into an old sweater that finally fit right. As they left, Ethan held the door for her. Can we do this again? Coffee, I mean? Yeah, I'd like that. His smile could have lit up the city. The following week, they met for lunch, then a walk by the lake, then coffee again. Small moments, building slowly, learning each other again. Ethan told her about his therapy sessions, about the pressure he'd put on himself since childhood, about his mother's expectations and how they'd shaped him. Nia told him about the 3 years after their breakup, the nights she'd cried, the self-doubt, how she'd slowly rebuilt herself into someone stronger. I'm sorry I put you through that, Ethan said one evening as they walked through a park. Early autumn had painted the trees gold and red. I'm not. Nia's words surprised them both. I mean, it hurt, a lot. But it also taught me who I am without you, what I'm capable of. That I don't need someone else to define my worth. You really don't. He smiled at her. You're incredible, Nia. You always were. I know, she grinned. I just needed time to believe it. They walked in comfortable silence. The air smelled like fallen leaves and possibility. My mum wants to meet you, Ethan said suddenly. Nia stopped walking. Mrs. Hale? The woman who thought I wasn't good enough for her precious son? The same woman who's been wrong about a lot of things. He turned to face her. She saw the press conference, called me crying, said she was proud of me for finally being honest. That's progress, I guess. She wants to apologize to you. In person. Ethan's eyes were hopeful. You don't have to, but I thought I should ask. Nia thought about it. Part of her wanted to say no, wanted to hold on to the anger, the hurt. Mrs. Hale had made her feel small, unworthy, like an embarrassment to their family. But holding on to anger only hurt herself. Okay, she said. I'll meet her, but you're buying me ice cream after, no matter how it goes. Deal. Sunday brunch at Mrs. Hale's mansion was exactly as intimidating as Nia remembered. The house was huge, perfect, the kind of place where everything had its spot, and people like Nia didn't belong. But this time Nia walked in differently, head high, confident. She'd earned her place in the world. No one could take that from her. Mrs. Hale waited in a sitting room that probably cost more than Nia's entire apartment. She stood when they entered, looking older than Nia remembered, more uncertain. Nia, thank you for coming. Mrs. Hale's voice was formal, but not cold. Please, sit. They sat on antique furniture. A maid brought tea and pastries. Everything was proper, careful. I owe you an apology, Mrs. Hale began. When you and Ethan dated before, I was unkind. I judged you based on superficial things, your background, your connections, things that don't actually matter. Nia stayed quiet, listening. I thought I was protecting my son, ensuring his success, but I was really just protecting my own image, my own pride. Mrs. Hale's hands shook slightly as she poured tea. I watched his press conference, saw him risk everything to defend you, and I realized he'd learned something I never taught him. That real strength is in vulnerability, not perfection. Thank you for saying that, Nia said carefully. I was wrong about you, completely wrong. Mrs. Hale finally met her eyes. You're accomplished, intelligent, kind, everything I should have valued from the start. I'm sorry for making you feel otherwise. The apology hung in the air. Nia could hold on to resentment, could make Mrs. Hale suffer the way she'd suffered, but what would that accomplish? I appreciate your apology, Nia said. It takes courage to admit when we're wrong. Mrs. Hale's eyes welled up. More courage than I've shown in years. They talked for another hour, really talked. Mrs. Hale asked about Nia's work, her family, her dreams, listened without judgment, shared stories about Ethan as a child, the real Ethan, not the perfect image. When they left, Mrs. Hale hugged Nia at the door. I hope you'll visit again soon. I'd like that, Nia said, and meant it. In the car, Ethan was quiet. You okay? Nia asked. Better than okay. He glanced at her. I gave her grace she didn't deserve. That's who you are, that's why I love you. She's trying, that's what matters. Still, you didn't have to forgive her. Forgiveness isn't for her. It's for me. Nia looked out the window. Holding on to anger only hurts the person carrying it. I'm tired of being hurt. Ethan reached over and squeezed her hand. She let him. A month passed, then another. Life found its rhythm. Nia's career exploded in the best way. Logan's projects kept coming. Other high-profile clients followed. Her firm made her a senior partner. She was thriving. Ethan's company took a small hit after the press conference. Some conservative investors pulled out, but younger, more progressive companies stepped in. His business actually grew. Turned out honesty and authenticity were valuable in the market. They saw each other several times a week. Coffee, lunch, dinner, movies, long walks, building slowly, carefully. Maya approved. He's different. I still don't trust him completely, but he's trying. Logan became a friend to both of them. Sometimes the three of them had dinner together. Nia, Ethan, and the billionaire who'd accidentally brought them back together. You two are good together, Logan said one evening over pasta. Real, no pretense. Thanks to you, Nia said. I just provided the venue. You two did the hard work. Tessa became one of Nia's closest friends. They bonded over wine and workplace gossip. Tessa loved watching Ethan fumble his way through learning to be vulnerable. He asked me last week if bringing you flowers every Friday was too much, Tessa reported, laughing. The man who negotiates million-dollar deals is terrified of overdoing the flower game. What did you tell him? that the flowers are perfect and that he's an idiot for doubting himself. 3 months after the press conference, Ethan asked Nia on a proper date. Not coffee, not lunch, a real date. "Where are we going?" she asked as they drove through the city. "It's a surprise." He took her to the art museum, where they'd had their first date years ago. But this time was different. He'd arranged a private viewing of the exhibits they'd loved. Just the two of them, wandering through beauty and history. "How did you manage this?" Nia asked, staring at paintings worth millions. "Logan knows the museum director, called in a favor." Ethan smiled. "I wanted to do our first date over. The right way. No hiding. No pretending to be someone I'm not. Just us." They walked through galleries hand in hand, talked about art and life and dreams, laughed at private jokes, fell back into the easy connection they'd once shared. In front of a painting of two figures reaching for each other across a distance, Ethan stopped. "I love you," he said simply. "I know you're not ready to say it back. That's okay. But I wanted you to know. I love who you are, who you've become, who you've always been." Nia's heart swelled. "Ethan, you don't have to say anything. I just needed you to hear it. No pressure, no expectations, just the truth." She looked at him, really looked, saw the man he'd become, the vulnerability he'd learned, the courage it took to love openly despite the fear. "I'm not there yet," she said honestly, "but I'm getting closer. That's enough for me." They kissed there, surrounded by centuries of art. It was soft, sweet, full of promise. Winter arrived, bringing snow and cold and the holidays. Nia spent Thanksgiving with her family. Ethan joined them, nervous, kind, determined to make a good impression. Her mother pulled Nia aside while Ethan helped her dad set the table. "He's different," her mother said. "I know. You're happy. I'm getting there." Her mother hugged her. "That's all I wanted. Your happiness. Nothing else matters." Christmas came. Ethan invited Nia to his mother's house for dinner. Mrs. Hale welcomed her warmly. The evening was surprisingly normal. Good food, easy conversation, laughter. As they left, Mrs. Hale pulled Nia aside. "He's better with you. More himself. Thank you for giving him another chance. He earned it. Still, not everyone would have." Mrs. Hale squeezed her hand. "I'm grateful, and I'm sorry again for how I treated you before. We're past that now." "Good, because I'd like us to be friends, if you're willing." Nia smiled. "I'd like that too." New Year's Eve, Logan threw a party. Fancy, elegant. Everyone who mattered in Chicago attended. Nia wore emerald green again, a callback to the gala where everything changed. Ethan wore a tuxedo, but left his tie slightly loose. More comfortable, more real. "Ready?" he asked, offering his arm. "Ready." They walked into the party together. Cameras flashed. People stared. But this time, Nia didn't care. She wasn't hiding, wasn't pretending, wasn't trying to fit into anyone else's world. She was creating her own. Logan greeted them with champagne and a knowing smile. "Look at you two, equals finally." "Finally," Ethan agreed, looking at Nia with such open love that her breath caught. The party was perfect. Music, dancing, friends surrounding them. Maya showed up with a new boyfriend who seemed promising. Tessa arrived with her girlfriend, both of them glowing. At midnight, as fireworks lit up the sky outside, Ethan pulled Nia close. "New year, new beginning, new chapter," Nia corrected. "We're still writing the story. My favorite story." He kissed her as the clock struck 12 and the room erupted in celebration. January brought new projects, new challenges, but also new confidence. Nia landed her biggest client yet, an international firm wanting to rebrand completely. The fee was substantial, the work was exciting. She assembled her own team, hired Maya as her assistant, and threw herself into creation. Ethan's company continued to grow. He promoted several women to leadership positions, changed the company culture from competitive to collaborative, made decisions based on values instead of just profit. "You're revolutionizing tech," Tessa told him one day. "Being decent, revolutionary." They still saw each other several times a week, still built slowly, still chose each other daily. One snowy Saturday in February, 4 months after reconciling, they went ice skating. Nia hadn't skated in years. She wobbled, laughed, fell on her butt twice. Ethan caught her each time. "I've got you." "I know." And she meant it. She knew now, really knew. They skated to the center of the rink, where music played softly and snow fell like sugar. "Nia," Ethan said, taking both her hands. "Yeah?" I know we're taking things slow and I'm not trying to rush, but I need to tell you something. Okay. Every day for the past 4 months, I've woken up grateful. Grateful you gave me another chance. Grateful I get to see you, talk to you, laugh with you. His eyes were bright with emotion. You make me want to be better, real, honest. You make me want to be the man I should have been 3 years ago. Ethan, I'm not asking for anything. I just need you to know you're it for me, you're everything. And whatever you need, more time, more proof, more anything, I'll give it. Because you're worth it. You've always been worth it. Nia felt tears freeze on her cheeks. Her heart felt too big for her chest. She'd been protecting herself, keeping the last wall up, afraid to fully surrender to love again. But standing there on ice, in snow, with Ethan looking at her like she hung the moon, she realized she'd already fallen. Somewhere between coffee dates and museum visits and learning to trust again, she'd fallen completely. I love you, she said. The words came out clear. Sure. True. Ethan's face transformed. What? I love you. The real you. The one who brings me coffee every morning. The one who goes to therapy and fights with his board and chooses courage over comfort. She squeezed his hands. I love you, Ethan Hale. And I'm not scared anymore. He kissed her there on the ice. Deep, passionate, full of relief and joy and promise. People around them clapped and cheered. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Ethan whispered, Say it again. I love you. Again. I love you. He laughed, lifting her off her feet and spinning her around. I love you too. So much. Always. Spring arrived, bringing warmth and new beginnings. Logan announced another gala, bigger than the last, supporting education programs in 12 countries this time. He asked Nia to plan it. Of course, she said, but I want to bring in Ethan's company as a sponsor again. Only if you're sure. I'm sure. Planning the gala together felt different this time. Natural. Easy. They worked as a team, building on each other's ideas, challenging each other, creating something beautiful. The night of the gala arrived warm and clear. Nia wore midnight blue this time. Ethan wore a tuxedo with his tie perfectly straight. She'd tied it for him that morning. Ready? He asked as their car pulled up to the venue. More than ready. They stepped out together. Cameras flashed. Reporters called their names. But Nia didn't flinch, didn't hide, just smiled and walked forward with the man she loved. Inside, the ballroom was transformed, better than before. Lights like stars, flowers everywhere, music that made people want to dance. Logan found them immediately, embracing them both. This is incredible. Your best work yet. Our best work, Nia corrected, gesturing to Ethan. Our best work, Ethan agreed. Maya appeared with champagne, looking stunning in silver. To new beginnings. They clinked glasses. Tessa joined them with her girlfriend. Mrs. Hale arrived, surprising Nia by hugging her first. Even Nia's mother came, proud and beaming. All the people they loved, all the people who'd supported them, all together. As dinner ended and dancing began, Ethan led Nia to the floor, the same ballroom where she'd walked in on his arm months ago, where everything had started to change. Last time we were here, you were my colleague, Ethan said, as they swayed to the music. Now you're my partner, my equal, my love. Last time I was proving something, Nia replied. Now I'm just being myself. I love yourself, she laughed. That was grammatically terrible. I don't care. He pulled her closer. Want to know a secret? Always. I'm going to marry you someday, when you're ready, when the time is right, but I'm going to marry you. Her heart fluttered, pretty confident. Not confident, hopeful. There's a difference. He smiled. But yeah, someday, if you'll have me. Someday, she agreed, when we're ready. They danced until the song ended, then danced to the next one and the next, lost in each other, lost in the moment, lost in love that had survived doubt and distance and pain to become something stronger. As the night wound down and guests began leaving, Logan found them one last time. You two are proof, he said. Proof of what? Nia asked. That love redeems everything. Pride, fear, mistakes. He smiled warmly. When both people choose courage over control, anything's possible. After Logan left, Ethan and Nia stood by the windows overlooking the city, the same spot where he'd apologized months ago, where she'd cried, where everything had begun to heal. Thank you, Ethan said softly. For what? For seeing past my mistakes, for giving me another chance, for loving me despite everything. Thank you for becoming someone worthy of that chance. She leaned into him. For choosing courage, for fighting for us. I'll choose you every day for the rest of my life, I promise. I know you will. She looked up at him. Because love isn't about being on the same level. It's about choosing each other, every single day, no matter what. No matter what, he repeated, kissing her forehead. They stood there as the city lights twinkled below, two people who'd found their way back to each other, not through grand gestures or perfect moments, but through small daily choices. Through consistency, through courage, through love that had been tested and broken and rebuilt into something unshakable. You know what the best part is? Nia asked. What? This is just the beginning. We have the rest of our lives to keep choosing each other. The rest of our lives, Ethan agreed. I can't wait. And as they stood there together, equals, partners, loves, the future stretched before them, bright, open, full of possibility. Because they'd learned the most important lesson. Real love isn't about wealth or status or fitting into someone else's world. It's about creating your own world together, one honest moment at a time, one brave choice after another, one day, one laugh, one touch at a time. And Nia and Ethan, they were just getting started. 6 months later, on a quiet Sunday morning, Ethan proposed, not at a fancy restaurant, not in front of cameras, just in Nia's apartment over coffee and pancakes, with Maya pretending not to listen from the other room. I know we said someday, he said, getting down on one knee, but someday feels like right now. Marry me, Nia Carter. Make me the luckiest man alive. Yes, she said, laughing and crying at once. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Maya burst in screaming. Her mother called crying happy tears. Mrs. Hale sent champagne and a note. Welcome to the family. Officially. Logan sent a text. Called it. Dinner's on me. Tessa organized an engagement party before they'd even told anyone else. And through it all, Nia and Ethan just held each other. Two people who'd lost their way and found it again. Two hearts that had healed and learned to trust. Two souls who'd discovered that love, real love, was worth every risk. Worth fighting for, worth choosing, worth believing in, every single day. The wedding came a year later, small, intimate, just family and close friends. Nia wore a simple white dress. Ethan cried during his vows. Maya was maid of honor and made everyone laugh and cry with her speech. To Nia and Ethan, she toasted, who proved that second chances can be better than first ones. That courage beats pride. That real love always finds its way. Everyone raised their glasses. As Nia and Ethan danced their first dance as husband and wife, she whispered, "We made it. We made it," he agreed. "And we're going to keep making it. Every day. Forever." Forever, she repeated, believing it completely, because this was their story. Not perfect, not easy, but real, and real was everything. 2 years later, Nia stood in the nursery, rocking her 6-month-old daughter to sleep. Amara Grace Hale had her mother's dark eyes and her father's smile. Perfect, beautiful, loved beyond measure. Ethan appeared in the doorway, watching them with such tenderness that Nia's heart swelled. "She's perfect," he whispered. "Like her parents," Nia teased. "Especially like her mother." They put Amara in her crib together, stood watching her sleep, marveling at the life they'd created, not just the baby, but everything, their home, their love, their future. "Sometimes I can't believe we're here," Ethan said softly. "After everything." "I can," Nia took his hand, "because we chose this. Every day. We keep choosing. Best choice I ever made." "Second best," she corrected. "First was admitting you were wrong." He laughed quietly. "Fair point." They walked to their room, falling into bed exhausted but happy. This was their life now, messy, real, full of love and laughter and tiny socks everywhere. As Nia drifted off to sleep in Ethan's arms, she thought about the girl she'd been 3 years ago, broken, doubting, wondering if she'd ever be enough. That girl had no idea what was coming, no idea she'd find her strength, build her career, demand respect, learn to love herself first. And then, when the time was right, learn to love someone else, really love them, as equals, as partners, as people who chose each other every single day. "I love you," Ethan murmured, half asleep. "I love you too," Nia whispered back. "Always." And she meant it, with her whole heart, forever.